we've asked you to think about 1 or 2 transformative steps that you might take to change your practice. And we think it's fair that we also share with you some of what we are thinking about what we would like to do next. So we're just going to talk a little bit about some pieces or items that we personally would like to move forward on. And I'll start. I've been increasingly interested in the notion that we need to really dig into what child protection and well-being mean to communities, and to challenge the notion that there are universal definitions of child protection. So I hope to remain curious and open, and to continue to develop methods to think about how we genuinely engage with communities to hear how they are conceptualizing and defining child protection and well-being in their own settings. I would simply add in closing that note that part of this is also taking the time to hear from children, how they are thinking about well-being and safety in their own lives, and trying to build out measurable metrics, for lack of a better word, around that. And that is something that I will continue to devote my energy to. How about you, Mike?
Oh, thanks, Mark. You know, when I think about the next steps that I'm going to undertake, it really sits at the intersection of community, the power of local people, the ability of local people to transform their own lives, and the agency and relationship that we've been discussing throughout the course. And I'm really keen on trying to learn from and to document community-led processes of child protection in which even the poorest of the poor participate, in which children are not just participants, they are leaders, and in which communities fundamentally hold the reins of power, own the process of change, and take positive steps to improve the well-being of children and families. And I'd like to use that to try to strengthen governmental processes as well. And for me, it would be wonderful if the child welfare, child protection policies of the future said that our primary function as a government is to support families and communities in supporting the well-being of children. What do you think, Tina?
So I really took to heart, Mark, the encouraged suggestion for me personally, to think small initially. And I can think of 2 immediate small steps that I really would like to take forward as a reminder of my own practice and what I would like to improve. The first is when I engage with assessment material, needs assessment, different literature on the effects of adversity, I want to be reminded of where that comes from, and just acknowledge that much of our research and much of what's available at the moment is actually oriented in the West, and really reflect deeply on what does that mean in terms of what's informing our evidence base on many of these issues. So that's one takeaway. It's really to be a bit more of a critical consumer, I would say, of some of the evidence that we're faced with and that we engage with. Another point, another very key takeaway that I have is something I'm sure I will be very much challenged with, but is to try to shift my own personal understanding of child protection from a more deficits approach to one that looks at promoting the health and well-being of children. Intuitively, when I think of child protection, I think of it being a reactive service. I think of the response side, but I do see the power in prevention, as we have clearly explored in this course, and we've had many expert voices speak on this. But it's also, I realize for myself, it's an attitudinal shift that I need to engage with, but I wholeheartedly see the power of that. So this is my challenge to myself.
Wonderful.
Thank you.